electric cars. How are they going to solve this particular problem?
Well, one reason why we selected Nairobi was that it's actually perfect for electric vehicles. It's pretty condensed. I mean, the city is not that widely scattered. It's you could say that it's more or less 30 by 30 kilometers. Most of the traffic happens in that within that boundaries. Many people spend a lot of time in the traffic jams instead of the vehicles moving, but they stay still on the highway and they continue polluting. Engine is running. So for that environment, electric vehicles are a perfect solution. So they don't need to drive that long distances per day, and they don't obviously pollute at all when they're idle in the traffic. And besides those, I don't know if you can see behind me, but at the moment we are in Finland where it's about minus 10 Celsius degrees outside. But the temperature in Nairobi is more or less always perfect for electric vehicles. So in my mind, Nairobi is an excellent place for electric vehicles.
All right, of course, you have there something that we wanted to touch base with is Nairobi is considered one of the most competitive countries, of course, with tech-based solutions, and of course in the transport industry we've seen the likes of Little, of Uber, of Taxify joining the parade. You as Nopia in this particular industry, what sets you aside from all of these other ride-hailing companies?
Yeah, so it's definitely a heavily competed market, but we believe that we have the best solution due to the three factors. We can offer low consumer prices. We can go pretty much to the lowest end of what the markets have to offer today. And even with those prices, our drivers will still be making money. And that is due to the fact that when any driver comes on Nopia platform and begins to drive an electric vehicle, they don't pay any longer for gasoline. So on a daily basis, they will make 30 to 50% more money than they used to on Taxify or Uber platforms. And so it's a value proposition is very unique. So drivers will make more money. Passengers will pay very affordable prices for the rides. And on top of that, it's a all over clean transportation solution.
All right. Now, we also understand that cost of pollution to African cities currently stands at about 2.7% to the GDP. You bringing in electric vehicles, it's rather interesting, but how much is it going to have an impact on the drop of air pollution in the region?
Well, you know, it's we are done with the pilot phase now, and now we're moving into the next phase, which is scaling up. Last week, I actually placed an order for more vehicles that will be coming in from Japan to Kenya, hopefully quite soon. We plan to do this on a monthly basis, getting new shipments, more vehicles every month. And if everything goes according to our plans, what we plan to do is that we want to expand to other cities also and scale it up. So by the end of 2029, so in about 10 years, just roughly in about 10 years, if we meet our targets, we'll be bringing in roughly a little bit over 100,000 vehicles. So then we can really start seeing the impact. But one additional reason was that why we selected Nairobi was that it's a very agile market. It's very fast to adapt to new services and new products. So I believe that at the end of the day, our forecast numbers may turn out to be very, very moderate. And all this can happen actually much faster. I think that the Kenyans are very willing to adapt to new services. And as long as they like them, they're affordable and it's good service for them. So at the end of the day, it's going to make a big difference on the pollution levels that these cities are experiencing in Africa today.
All right. Juha, affordability is definitely one thing and feasibility is another. This is coming back to you. 1,500 vehicles before 2021. Just 2 years to go maybe, or 3 if we say that we're still starting off 2019. Tell me, what are some of the infrastructure issues that you're seeing could hinder this particular project from going this way?
Yeah, so that 1,500 vehicles, that applies to Nairobi only. So that's a target that is for Nairobi. Obviously, one of the challenges is that there is no charging network in Kenya or many other places in Africa yet. But, you know, it's we went through the same experience in Finland when we started in 2014. There really wasn't that many charging places and for the vehicles. What we did in the first phase was that we opened this, just like in Kenya, we call them Nopea service stations, places where you can charge the EVs. In Finland, we opened similar places to charge the vehicles where we installed our own charging stations. So we are prepared to do that also in Kenya. So we do it either alone or we partner with somebody. We are open to discuss with anybody who wants to partner and start doing this with us.
20 years.
So, but
in 20 years, 1990 to 2010, we saw the carbon dioxide emissions from just transport sector growing to about 53.7%. Tell me, is this something that we're seeing coming to an end before, of course, the targets that have been set by the United Nations?
Well, it's going to take some time. I mean, basically today we are talking about bringing these electric vehicles for taxi usage. So it's a taxi hailing service. But on top of that, there are a lot of other vehicles. People have private vehicles, then you have matatus, you have all the other transportation methods. So we are just solving part of it. And what I suspect is going to happen is that in similar manner that we've seen in some other markets is that once you have few electric vehicles in the country and people see them, seeing is believing, then they start also purchasing them. So I think that it's going to happen so that once we start get this Nopea ride rolling, and there's going to be a few tens, few hundred vehicles in Nairobi, even private people start purchasing used electric vehicles and start using them because they will trust it differently than they do today. About a year ago when I came to Kenya and I was talking about the electric vehicles, none of the people had seen them. Nobody believed them. Now the perception has completely changed after we launched the pilot. Now people have seen the vehicles, they've seen the charging stations, and they've experienced the app. So the experience is completely different today, and now people are starting to believe them. And we are already getting questions that, can I buy private electric vehicle and bring it on your platform or charge it at your charging network?